Today, we are talking about what happens when your cycles look normal, you're ovulating every month, your labs come back fine, but you're still not pregnant. So now you're being told things like try Letrozole, try Clomid, maybe move into an IUI. Everything looks normal on paper, but your lived experience tells a completely different story. So in this episode, we're breaking down what's often missing when everything looks normal and why clarity is what actually changes your next step. Do you long to get pregnant and trust your body again? Do you feel exhausted by the month after month cycle of hope and disappointment? Do you carry that creeping sense of failure? The fear that your body just isn't working the way that it should? If so, I'm so glad that you're here, my friend. Hi, I'm Mariana, a wife, mom, and a fertility care practitioner. After years of confusion and heartache, I learned how to understand my cycle with clarity and move towards pregnancy naturally by following a real system instead of guessing. This is Fertile Window Lab. If you're ready for real clarity about your cycle, a simple method that works, and less pressure from predictions, alarms, and fertility gymnastics, sit down the sticks, pop in your earbuds, and let's make sense of your fertility together. I want you to picture this woman because there is a good chance this is you. You've been trying for a year, maybe longer, not casually trying, intentionally trying, tracking, timing, doing everything she's been told to do. So she seeks help. She goes through all testing, blood work, ultrasounds, tubes check. Her husband gets tested too. If the results come back, everything looks normal. You're ovulating, there are no issues here. And I wish I can tell you this is rare, but it is not. As a fertility care practitioner, this is actually one of the most common stories I hear when people first come and sit down with me. They have often seen one doctor, sometimes two, sometimes more. They come in carrying folders, lab results, pieces of information they've been trying to make sense on their own. And underneath all of that, there is this quiet confusion. Everything looks normal. Why isn't this working? And I want to pause here for a moment because I have felt a version of this in a completely different context. A while ago, I had one of those weeks where I would wake up and immediately, before my feet even hit the ground, and this feeling will creep in. I'm already behind. Nothing had even happened yet, but my body felt it. My mind was already racing ahead of time. So I would go into my day and try to do all the right things. Prayer, journaling, and my routine. By 2 p.m., my energy will crash, and at the exact same time, the pressure will rise. There is not enough time. I'm not gonna get all done. So what did I do? I pushed harder. I grabbed my loaded coffee, powered through, then I did it again the next day and the next until one day it hit me. I wasn't starting my day from a place of clarity. I was starting already feeling defeated, like I was trying to catch up to something I hadn't even defined. The same day, while I was journaling, I did something different. I grabbed a separate pad of paper and I started writing down every random task that kept interrupting my thoughts. Pay the electricity bill, walk the dog, finish a form, cook the meat, meal plan, add the insurance card to my wallet, change a diaper, return the Amazon package, order groceries, create a form, hit 10,000 steps, all the things. And as I kept writing, I realized something very clearly. It wasn't that I didn't have enough time. It was that I was carrying everything in my head, unprocessed, undefined, and unresolved. That underlying feeling of being behind was what kept draining me and quietly undermining everything I was actually doing right. And that's exactly what I see happening in fertility. Many women don't start their journey from a place of clarity. They start already feeling behind. Behind because of age, behind because it's taking longer than expected, behind because it should have happened by now. And even when age isn't the primary issue, even when everything looks normal, there is this internal pressure, the race against time. And that pressure doesn't just sit quietly. It follows you through every cycle, every decision, every 2 week wait. and it adds weight to every negative test. It turns each month into something that feels heavier than actually it is. So they keep going. Now she's on her first round of letrozole. She's told that it will help, maybe make her ovulate stronger, maybe even increase her chances. And so hope rises again. A 2 week wait, she starts feeling cramps, and now she's analyzing everything. Is this my period coming, or could it be something else? I have heard of women who felt this way and were actually pregnant. I can't tell how many times I have heard the same question, because when you've been doing this for a while, you start holding on to any possibility that this might finally be the month. And then her period comes again. And this is a part that is hard to put into words unless you have lived it. That mix of disappointment, frustration, and this creeping thought, am I missing something? Is my body not doing what it's supposed to do? Why does this feel so hard if everything is fine? And sitting across from couples in that place, I'll be honest, it breaks my heart every time because they haven't been given the real answers. And that's where this becomes more than frustrating. It becomes costly. And this is exactly where many women get led into the wrong direction because the next step offered is often medication without even addressing why. And if you're listening to this and thinking, this is me, I've been doing everything right, and I still feel like I'm missing something, I want to invite you into a different kind of conversation. Not another cycle, not another guess, not another let's try this, but real clarity, understanding your cycle, understanding your hormones, understanding what your body is actually doing and what's been missing. So you can move forward with a real plan, not just another attempt. I offer what I call a fertility clarity call, where we take a step back and start connecting the dots. No pressure, no rushing into decision, but also not staying stuck in the same pattern. Just a path forward that actually makes sense. I'll leave the link for you in the show notes. So let's start by talking about medicated cycles, why they don't fix the problem, they work around it. You can go through 3, 4, 6 medicated cycles and it still not be any closer to understanding why it's not working. Medications like Letrozole, Clomid are often introduced to help ovulation or increase chances by stimulating the ovaries, sometimes even called superovulation. But here's the truth more women are not told. If you are already ovulating regularly, these medications are not fixing a root issue. They're simply trying to increase output because ovulation alone is not the full picture of fertility. You can ovulate every single month, feel ovulation pain, have regular cycles, and hit day 13 or 14 like a clockwork, and they still not have an environment that supports conception. So when a woman says, I ovulate every month, my cycles are regular, everything is normal, so why am I on letrozole? That's the gap. Medicated cycles can sometimes increase the probability, but they do not answer is the egg quality optimal? Is ovulation hormonally supported well enough? Is progesterone strong and sustained after ovulation? Is the uterine environment truly receptive? And if those are not working well, you're not fixing the issue. You're trying harder around it. Before jumping into another round, another dose, or adding a trigger or IUI, the better question becomes, what is my body actually doing and is it doing it well? Second, unexplained infertility often means uninvestigated function. Being told you have unexplained infertility doesn't mean nothing is wrong. It usually means nothing obvious showed up on the standard testing because the standard testing is designed to rule out major issues like blood tubes, no ovulation, or severe male factor. But it's not designed to investigate subtle function. It does not deeply evaluate hormone patterns across a whole cycle, the quality and timing of ovulation, the strength of progesterone after ovulation, subtle inflammation, or underlying conditions. So when everything comes back normal, a pregnancy isn't happening, you're left thinking, maybe I just need more help, more medication, more intervention. When in reality, your body may be giving you signals that simply haven't been properly interpreted. And this is where a different kind of tracking and evaluation becomes essential. Not just if you ovulate, but how well your cycle is functioning as a whole. Point number 3, repeated failure is not proof your body is broken. Negative tests after negative tests, failed cycles, trying medications that don't work starts to feel like your body is a problem. I must be doing something wrong. My body isn't just working anymore. Because that belief will quietly shape every decision you make next. But here's the reality. Your body is not randomly failing. It's responding based on your current state of health, hormones, and environment. And if no one has slowed down to actually understand that, of course it feels like guesswork. And this is why you see the pattern. Try letrozole, add progesterone, consider a trigger, move into IUI, step after step without clarity. And every failed cycle feels more personal than actually it is. So instead of asking, what else can I try? The more powerful question becomes, what has been missed? So now that we have named what's missing, I want to talk to you about what actually looks like to start getting real answers. First, don't assume ovulation. Confirm the quality of it. Someone says ovulate. What I hear is we haven't fully evaluated ovulation yet. Because ovulation is not just if it happens, it's how well it happens. In my work, I see so many variations of what it looks like from our ovulation on the surface, but actually isn't functioning optimally. An LA surge, but no true ovulation. Follicles that rupture too early, leading to immature eggs. Ovulation happening, but follicle size is suboptimal. Delay ovulation. Hormone patterns that mimic ovulation, like PCOS. All of this directly impacts progesterone. So even if fertilization happens, the body may not be able to sustain early pregnancy, which can show up as repeated negatives or even chemical pregnancies. And I also want to be clear, a real assessment of ovulation doesn't happen in one snapshot. It happens through target charting across the cycle, hormone ovulation at the right times, and an ultrasound series, not just one scan, to track the follicle development and release. This is the difference between assuming your body's working versus actually verifying how it's working. Takeaway number two, support equality by understand timelines. A lot of women in this stage start asking, is there anything I can do? And yes, one foundational area is equality. Equality doesn't show up clearly on standard testing, but it plays a major role in fertilization, embryo development, early pregnancy stability. So if egg quality is compromised, no amount of superovulation will fix that. This is where I often point women to resources like the book It Starts with an Egg as a starting place to understand support strategies. But here's the part that needs to be said. Improving egg quality is not immediate. It takes about 90 days to begin seeing changes. It requires consistency, and it needs to be monitored, not guessed. So instead of jumping cycle to cycle and feeling defeated, you begin to understand that this is a process and that your body is responding over time. This leads to point number three. Get real data, not just next steps. One of the most empowering shifts is moving from what should I try next to what is my body actually doing? Because right now, the women that are moving to the sequence of letrozole, trigger, progesterone, or IUI without fully understanding why the previous step didn't work is where the frustration and self-doubt will build. And this is where the deeper evaluation is going to come in. In my practice, one of the most powerful things I see is how cycle charting patterns reveal underlying issues. Hormone panels are tracked across the cycle, and even tools like the Dutch test. The combination of these tools can start pointing to a much clearer picture of what's actually happening, not just single labs, but patterns over time. And when you have that kind of data, you can finally begin to ask better questions, to advocate for more precise care, and to stop feeling like you're guessing every month. The purpose of this episode is to ground you in reality, but also to give you hope. Real patterns don't show overnight, and true answers require observation across cycle, whether it's 60 days to start seeing clear chart patterns, a full cycle of hormone collection, or 90 days to impact your egg quality. This is not instant, but it's directional. And if you're in this place right now, trying for months, maybe over a year, and you've been told everything looks normal, then this isn't just about trying the next thing anymore. This is a decision point. Do you keep moving forward with the next step, the next cycle, the next protocol, hoping this time works? Or do you pause and actually look deeper what your body has actually been trying to tell you all along? Because I see this happen far too often. And if you're listening to this and thinking, this is me, I've been doing everything right, and I still feel like I'm missing something, I want to invite you into a different kind of conversation. Not another cycle, not another guess, not another let's try this, but real clarity. Understanding your cycle, understanding your hormones, understanding what your body's actually doing and what's been missing. So you can move forward with a real plan, not just another attempt. I offer what I call a fertility clarity call, where we take a step back and start connecting the dots. No pressure, no rushing into decision, but also not staying stuck in the same pattern. Just a path forward that actually makes sense. I'll leave the link for you in the show notes. See you next time.
I'm my mama's little fertility helper. If this episode has helped you, or if you feel a little more hopeful, leave a review. She'll love it.
Hi, DTC Warrior. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, please leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. It truly helps to get this show into ears of more women who need it. And be sure to sign up for my weekly encouragement, tips, and insights straight to your inbox. I promise to keep it practical, hopeful, and faith-friendly. All right, I'm off to tacos, chocolate, and turn my cycle. I'll meet you back here next week. Bye.